Welcome to Search for Signs. My name is Gary Willing. If this information interests you, please press the like and subscribe button and press the bell for notifications. Now, I don't know if you've been paying attention to the news, but here recently, I think it was this week or late last week, Donald Trump came out, the President of the United States came out and said that he had been debriefed, along with certain members of Congress, on UFO activity. And he was quoted as saying, "I don't particularly believe it." That was his quote. Now, whether he doesn't believe it or he's just saying it just because that's what governments say when it comes to UFOs, remains to be seen, and we'll know soon enough, whatever, right? Now, a friend of mine really, taught me something a long time ago when he said, don't listen to what people say, watch what they do, right? And even Maitreya says that, right? No one has honesty of mind, right? No one said, we all say one thing, think one thing, say something else, and do something entirely different, right? And the politicians have a really bad reputation of doing that, right? Especially this president. I mean, he's just as guilty as everybody. I mean, everyone else is just as guilty as he is. So I'm not saying he's unique in this way, but he seems to be a master at thinking one thing, saying something else, and doing something entirely different, and expecting everybody to kind of jump through the hoops and go along with it. But anyway, I digress. But what happened was, when I read that, right, if you really look at it from that standpoint, like don't listen to what they say, watch what they do, why would the military leaders of our country debrief certain members of Congress and the President of the United States on something if they didn't think there was any truth behind it? Why would they do that? Would you do that? I know I probably wouldn't even do that, right? So it would make no sense for them to do that. And in fact, it would be quite, bad for their reputations if they did that. So they must have known there was some truth behind it. And they must have known that the president would more than likely accept it as fact, or they wouldn't have even brought it up. Even if they thought it was true, they had to have known that the reception of the information would be positive for them politically, for them to do that, right? I mean, the United States government is a huge bureaucracy, right? It would have, if they didn't think that there was any truth behind it, they would have never brought it up and never had their names attached to it at all. It would have never, ever, ever happened. I don't know a lot about American government, but I will tell you that I know enough about bureaucracy to know that nobody ever sticks their neck out on the line like that. I mean, why do you think the news media doesn't cover a lot of this stuff, right? So, they're all waiting for somebody else to do it, and then they'll follow suit, right? So nobody wants to be the first. So why would they do that? Well, I bet you they did it because they already knew that there was some truth behind it, but also the fact that the governments of the world have known for decades that there's truth behind it, and they're just giving him more information, like this is still going on, right? Or whatever, right? And of course, when the media found out that he was debriefed on it and they asked Donald Trump, well, he denied it, like they all do. And all presidents, no matter what the political party, have denied UFO activity, whether by their silence or by outright telling the public that they didn't believe it or there's no truth to it, right? Although evidence is mounting every single day that these UFOs are in and around our atmosphere, right? Average people see it, the military see it, pilots see it, so forth, right? I mean, it's getting harder and harder to deny it. Now, Maitreya is correct when he says that when it comes to change, the people are always going to come first, and then the governments are going to follow suit. And this is no different, right? So the governments, think about it from a power standpoint, right? Like you're the United States government or the President of the United States or whatever. Why would you yield your power to the Space Brothers if you're wanting to maintain your own power? Because they always say that they don't want to talk about this stuff because they don't want to generate a panic, right? But I bet you under the surface, again, don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. It's more of, I think, they don't want to lose their power. Because if the people knew, really, that there were Space Brothers out there that had the technology, had the solutions to our problems that we've been grappling with for decades and centuries, and they had the answer to it, why would we even look to you? the President of the United States. We would go to them. We would totally circumvent your power, right? So I know enough about human nature to know that it's very, very, very difficult for people to step to the side and let somebody else get the limelight or get the credit or get the somebody else yield their power to somebody else. You know what I mean? Very few people can do that. It takes a tremendous amount of detachment to do that, right? Which people these days don't have, right? So I think that's the reason why the governments around the world really are ultimately denying it, because they know if the people really knew, they wouldn't look to them. They would look to the Space Brothers. And I think that will eventually be what also happens, kind of, because according to Benjamin Creme, Maitreya is going to, when he's out known for who he is, not long after he's out known for who he is going to acknowledge the fact that and he's also going to acknowledge the fact that the Space Brothers do exist and that they are here to help us, and they've been helping us since the dawn of time. And the evidence and the proof of UFOs is never going away. It's only going to get greater and greater and greater, right? And then I think what will happen after Maitreya says that, because people are starting to listen to his advice, the people will demand the truth from their governments, finally. And then the governments will have to open up about the fact that they knew all along, and they've been keeping this wonderful miracle hidden from their own people. So we might not vote those same people back in. You know what I mean? So, you just never know how it will turn out for them, right? But it's just another puzzle piece of proof, for lack of a better phrase, that these Space Brothers are here to help. Because if they've been here for decades and they're still here, and nothing's happened to us in terms of them taking us over or whatever like this, but yet people see them every day, it's just another piece of evidence that they are here to help us and they're not here to harm us at all. And time is the judge, juror, and the juror of these Space Brothers, that they are actually benevolent. Because they would have taken us over a long, 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 long time ago had that been their intention. I mean, why would they wait, right? What are they waiting on if that was the case, right? For us to get the technology to be able to defend ourselves because they want a fair fight. I mean, it doesn't make a lot of sense. So think about it, But it was an incredible thing, I think, that happened for the news media to cover this go around. So we'll see what turns out of it. But again, these Space Brothers are here to help, and the Masters and Maitreya will come out not long after they're opened and acknowledge the fact that that is the truth of the matter about the Space Brothers. But anyway, and as always, take action. Help SOP save our planet. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to talking to you again in future videos. Have a great day.